A key topic in Vice President Harris's economic agenda has drawn criticism from economists on both sides of the aisle. Her proposal to crack down on alleged price gouging at grocery stores. Joining us now is Mike Pyle, who served as chief economic advisor to Vice President Harris. He's now informally advising her campaign. Have you been on board with the way some of these economic initiatives have been rolled out, Mike, or would you have done it differently?
So let's be clear on what this proposal is and was it what it isn't. I mean, what it isn't is price controls, pure and simple. This is not intervening in the basic price-setting mechanisms of our market economy. What it is being sure that there's a cop on the beat in emergency situations, making sure that there aren't bad actors out there taking advantage of the American consumer. This is the type of authority that we see in 40 different states, red states and blue states alike, and it's really focused on making sure in those emergencies there's a cop on the beat.
See, just because you sort of have to explain what it isn't after the rollout, I think it is illustrative of that it's not, maybe wasn't the greatest first initiative to make. And I think typically grocery chains have about a 1 or 2% margin. And when there is price gouging in a normal system, there are antitrust laws, there's anti-monopoly laws. It can't be done because competition doesn't allow you to stay higher than where all your peers are. And what it looks like, Mike, is that the administration was well aware that it was underwater on Bidenomics and on the economy because of inflation. So it looks like a way to just try to deflect blame from, maybe it was just a pandemic. Even if it wasn't Bidenomics, it happened globally. The administration always points out inflation happened globally. Yeah, so why blame it on U.S. companies that were gouging? Say it's not our fault. It's these, that's part of a common theme, anti-corporate theme from the Biden administration. Why?
So I think if you look at the vice president's speech on Friday, you see a lot in there that's about the ways in which we need to create a very stable, secure environment for business to operate in this country. Talks about cutting through unnecessary red tape. Talks about creating certainty for businesses, big and small, to do what they do best, which is innovate and create jobs. At the same time, prices are front of mind for the American people, and whether that's the cost of housing, the cost of prescription drugs, the cost of groceries, this is a front of mind topic, and she wants the American people to know, again, there's going to be a cop on the beat making sure they're not taking advantage.
The other thing that at least to me is sort of incongruous is that one of the things that the Biden-Harris administration talks about is how much better the United States did emerging from the pandemic.
Yeah.
And, you know, we created 50 million jobs. We did this, we did that. None of that was we, the government. Most of that was the economy that we have in the United States made up of all these great companies. So on the one hand, you're saying we did better than anywhere else because we got these great companies. God, you know, they're hiring all these people. They're doing all these great things. So we're going to raise taxes on these companies from 21 to 28%. Why?
So, you know, I think that if you look at where we are, we need to be in a place where we're asking the wealthiest and the biggest businesses to pay their fair share, and we've got to do that for a couple of reasons.
Wealthy businesses?
We've got to do that for a couple of reasons.
A weird term to use.
You know, we've got to do that for a couple of reasons. One, we need to make a set of investments in the middle class. The vice president talked about the need to build more housing and to invest in building more housing in this country. Talked about the way in which we need to make sure that that families with the smallest children have the support they need, like the child tax credit. We also need to reduce the deficit. These are things that we need to do, and it's going to require more taxes to do that.
Do you think that the performance of business, which is lauded by the administration because of how well the economy is doing, I mean, you don't think that's going to be affected by... And then the other thing I was thinking, we subsidize in the IRA all these favored businesses. We subsidize in the CHIPS Act all these favored businesses. So on the one hand, we're giving them money. On the other hand, we're raising taxes. It just seems like a strange way to do things.
So, you know, I think that America's had a long history of a very innovative, dynamic corporate and business sector. We've led the world in innovation, technology, just basic corporate capacity. We've also for a long time had a corporate tax rate of 35%.
Oh, I know.
And like we had an incredibly
good things happen. Good things have happened at 21.
Yeah,
and a lot of companies say they wouldn't have done it.
And good things can happen at 28 too.
Mike, my question actually is slightly different. Look, the second that any of these candidates puts up a policy, they get critiqued, right? And that we talked for a very long time about.
You want to talk tariffs? I mean,
no. The vaguer you are, the better it is politically, because nobody can then start, trying to find holes in the plan. What I was actually asking on the corporate tax front is, yes, Democrats have been calling for 28% for a long time. Was there any thought about saying, you know what, actually, in terms of showing our hand about how we actually feel about business, one way or the other? Because one of the things that's happening privately is a lot of people around Harris are saying, actually, we're very good for business. Going at a 25% rate. And the reason I mentioned 25, that was actually the rate that most CEOs thought they were going to get actually under Trump.
Why raise it at all?
And then Trump put it down to 21. So if you were going to if you were going to sort of try to say to the business community, look, we're for you. We favor what you want. Because once you get, by the way, once you get over 25, and the reason why that 25 was sort of a hurdle was then you get into this conversation about where do you actually want to be if you're a company. Meaning, we talked about remember corporate inversions and the like.
I don't know if that's the cutoff. It's 7% of total revenues, corporate taxation, and you're going to raise it. It's not even doing anything. Why not talk entitlements? Why not talk Social Security, Medicare?
But you know what is in there?
Really,
carried interest.
That's weird because you had
as it should be.
We had a chance to do that before.
Yes.
And a Democrat put the cop. I don't know. Was she a Democrat at the end? I don't know. Sinema. Remember?
Yes.
Maybe
let's talk one more tax policy, which is if we look at the former president's platform, there's a proposal in there to raise taxes across the board on basically everything that we import from overseas, functionally a national sales tax.
You mean tariffs?
Yeah, a national sales tax on everyday goods, fuel, food, diapers. And these are things that American consumers, households are going to have to pay more for.